Is the 10th anniversary of the Iraq War, and a time to reflect on how we let a small group of neoconservatives take advantage of our fear of terrorism to launch us into an unnecessary and counterproductive war. It's a good thing we've learned our lesson. There's no way we'd let Congress push us into another war based on circumstantial evidence of weapons of mass destruction that no one's actually confirmed. There's no way we'd believe that a military confrontation with a large populous state in the Middle East region could actually stabilize things, especially since the majority of Americans are opposed to military intervention right now, and President Obama has repeatedly stressed the importance of diplomacy. There's just no way we'd be foolish enough to attack another country that starts with IRA, right? We mark the passing of another significant anniversary, the death of 23-year-old American peace activist Rachel Corrie. 10 years ago this week, Rachel was killed by an Israeli military bulldozer while demonstrating against Israel's policy of demolishing homes as punishment. Rachel is one of many activists through the years who've been killed or injured while protesting human rights violations against the Palestinian people. On the anniversary of her death, let us remember the many individuals from all nations who put their lives on the line for peace and justice. As the president heads to the Middle East this week, Israeli politicians have begun their usual request that the U.S. release Jonathan Pollard, an American convicted of spying for Israel. Some pundits believe that Obama, who's not well liked in Israel, would boost his popularity there if he releases Pollard. Former National Security Council spokesperson Tommy Vietor tweeted, "Can't understand why Israelis make this their cause. Pollard was a spy, period." We feel that the Pollard issue is a distraction from what the president's trip should be about, laying the groundwork for peace talks to resume, and speaking directly to both the Israelis and the Palestinians to build a consensus for peace. Besides, Obama and Netanyahu should have plenty of awkward conversations to keep them busy without bringing Pollard into it. If you stayed awake in civics class, then you know that the Fourth Amendment to our Constitution prohibits unreasonable searches and seizures. Unfortunately, these important protections have been eroded in our post-9/11 world. But there's hope that the tide may be turning. Last week we told you about an appeals court ruling that said DHS border agents need to have a reason to search through your electronics. Now, conservative activist Grover Norquist and ACLU Washington Director Laura Murphy are asking the government to extend privacy protections to our old emails. Right now, the government doesn't need a warrant to access emails older than 180 days stored on the servers of Internet service providers. Norquist and Murphy's proposal would give those old emails the same protections that are currently in place for physical documents and personal hard drives. It's great to see such a diverse alliance supporting this important privacy issue, which disproportionately affects communities like ours. After getting pummeled at the polls in November, the Republican Party has decided it's time for a change. A new report funded by the Republican National Committee says Republicans need to get on board with issues like gay rights and immigration reform and stop saying dumb things about women. Some GOP leaders have begun targeting their messages to appeal to women, minorities, and young people.
Because we're going to be the party for everybody.
While this change is commendable, there's one problem with it. It lacks support from the party's base. Some of the most popular speakers at last week's CPAC conference were singing the same old tune, including anti-gay Rick Santorum, Islamophobe Alan West, and media personality Ann Coulter, who said this about immigration.
If amnesty goes through, America becomes California, and no Republican will ever win another national election.
Houston, we have a problem.